What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. How about a damn Jeep? I hate these damn things. I really do. This is a pretty Jeep. This is a pretty Jeep. But as a rule, I hate Jeeps. I have a good reason to hate Jeeps, and I'll get into that. But, you know, we got a lot of Jeep history right here in Greenville, South Carolina. Ray Hinkle Jeeps. That was a big thing in the 70s and early 80s. That was huge around here, the Jeep craze. You know, back when these things were new, you know, Ray Hinkle, he was one of the largest Jeep dealers in the country, right here, you know, in the upstate South Carolina. He sold these things, customized them, did everything, you know, and of course rolled it right into your financing. Guy after old Rabbit's heart. You know, it was kind of funny. The reason he got out of selling Jeeps is back then, these were AMC. These weren't Mopar. These weren't Dodge Jeeps. These were Jeeps. AMC had their line of cars, you know, the AMC Eagle and all the other cars. Well, he didn't want to sell their junk. He just wanted to sell Jeeps. And they said, well, you can't sell Jeeps without selling our cars. So he closed the whole damn place down, basically, because of that. You know, and there's a lot of Jeep shops. They all ended up working for Ray over the years. So this story picks up from a guy that used to work for Ray. And he knows Jeeps front, back, side to side. He's a good friend of mine. He's a car dealer, hustler, all the way around. You know, back in the day, I was always looking for a cool car to flip, something fun, you know, inexpensive. He said, man, I got a cheap Jeep. Cheap Jeep. I said, what kind of Jeep you got? He said, man, I got a 95 Wrangler. 4-wheel drive. Got a big old lip, big old wheels and tires on it, polished bumpers, polished Nerf bars. This thing's show Jeep. Bright red. It's just been tapped. Keyword, anytime a car dealer says that it's been tapped, translation, it's f***ing hit. Hard. That's tap. Back to the story. So I go and look at the Jeep. It is a good looking Jeep. It was hit right in the left rear corner. So right there in the quarter panel and the back panel where the taillight's at. Just got it right there. Just enough, and of course the top, you know, wasn't sitting right. It had a soft top, but it was all scrunched up where it moved all that stuff. And it looked horrible. 3/4 of it was great. He goes, man, he said, this thing, I had it 4-wheel drive, it runs, it drives great. He said, this thing right here, just a little work back there, a little zzz. He said, you got you a nice little Jeep. Miles were good. I don't remember exactly how many miles, but they were decent. Fired it up. And her rattle, like a noise in the drive line, not an engine rattle. Her little noise, well, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on under there. But I said, you said you put it in 4-wheel drive. He said, yes, sir, I put it in 4-wheel drive, pulled it right over there. I said, 4-wheel drive's perfect. Didn't look under it. You know, anything like that. Well, I get the Jeep over to the shop, start tearing into it. Of course, take the top off of it. You know, the top clamps down with the quarter panels around the back. Pull the top off of it and pull tail light out of it and started looking. And it just wadded the quarter panel up, low and just going up. Whatever hit it went like this into it. Didn't really mess with the bumper, which was weird. Hit it over the bumper, but when it hit that quarter, it started riding up. And luckily, the gas tank and everything was on the other side, so it worked out. It's just cosmetic, really. I took the quarter panel and I straightened it out as good as I could. Well, you can't buy a Jeep replacement quarter panel. You don't want to put a bunch of Bondo in them because these things are really thin and all this stuff. I'm smarter than that. But you could buy that back panel that the taillight bolts to. You could buy that. Bought it out of my J.C. Whitney catalog, a paper catalog. It's before it was doing online. A J.C. Whitney catalog. And it was like $40 for this panel. So that's the only part I bought. And a taillight because it busted. So I bought this panel. I got the quarter panel as straight as I could. I beat and hammered and stretched and, you know, put come-alongs on and everything else. Got the quarter panel straightened out on it. And then I was flipping through the J.C. Whitney, and they had these diamond check plate panels. So I took my favorite spray bomb of all time, Krylon Cherry Red, son. Just trimmed out that top. I put my little pieces back on that holds the top. I put my shiny little cover shields, which covers up all my boo-boos. and bolted them bad boys on. And I had my cheap Jeep done. Put the top was right, everything looked good. Went to go put it in 4-wheel drive, just try her out. Ting, 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 ting. Sound like rattling aluminum cans on the bottom of it. But what? He said the 4-wheel drive worked. No, it doesn't work. Reached under, transfer case was in 2 pieces. So what we heard was the chain slapping the damn skid plate. I mean, this thing's just flopping around. Transfer case is. I mean, it's just kind of hanging on for the ride. This one whole side, the side that goes to the front that makes it 4-wheel drive. So sourced me a transfer case for it and got that and got it on there and put the right, Jeep transfer case fluid in it and all that stuff and got my cheap Jeep going. So this story takes another turn. I get the Jeep done. It's just cute as a button, bright red and all the polished stuff and all this. My first house I lived in, my next door neighbor, he saw it. And this guy's married, got a couple kids. He's looking for a toy. He goes, Rob, I like that old Jeep you got. I said, well, you know what? I'm not in love with it, and you can have it. How much you want for it? And we work out a deal. And he said, man, I'm going to take it. So he's got his little Jeep. It just moves right next door. This big lifted Jeep. And I'll never forget, he had to take and let air out of the tires to get it in the garage. So he would back it out, damn near on the rims, pump the tires up, and then drive it, and then let the air out of the tires. His keychain was a valve stem tool because that was the regular. He'd get it out, he'd go riding. Get away from the wife and the kids, just go ride. A few months goes by, I'd see a little Jeep every once in a while, I'd look over and Jeep be gone. Look over and Jeep be back, and just everything's going good. We didn't talk every day. I'd see him and throw my hand up, whatever. He comes up to me, he goes, Rob, he said, I like to think of you as a friend. When anybody comes at you with that, you be prepared for something good shortly after. And this was no different. I've got myself in a little bit of a pickle. And I said, well, we all get there sometimes. He goes, well, I've got a girlfriend. And I said, well, and you got a wife, just that's a full house there, bud. You're a busy man. He goes, yeah, go out ride around in the Jeep, and he said, I met her and she's super nice, and she's great. I'm sure she's sweet as sugar, and I'm just listening. And he goes, I got another problem though. Oh, another one. Like, what, are you dating her sister or what, She's pregnant. Keep in mind, this guy's got 2 kids with the wife. Now he has a pregnant girlfriend. I said, son, you got yourself in a pickle. He said, what do I do? And I said, I would love to be the one to give you the answer to that. And I said, but I don't know it. I really don't. I said, you need to do some soul searching, bud. And I don't want to be the man in your shoes when you have to drop the ball either way with whoever. So he said, well, please don't say anything. I said, hey, brother, you're good with me. I didn't hear a thing. So he walks back next door. A few weeks goes by. He sees me out in the garage. He comes over. He goes, can we talk in private? Sure. We go in the house, sit down. And it's good when they look over their shoulder in your house. I said, this is a safe place, bud. You can talk. He goes, I'm getting a divorce. Hey, already had one at this point in my life. I mean, I said, it's not that bad. You can handle it. I said, well, that's it. So I'm taking it. You and the girlfriend are doing good. He goes, I don't know if I want her either. I met somebody else in the Jeep. I said, buddy, I'm going to do you a favor. I said, your world's about to get turned upside down. The world's going to chew your ass up and spit you out. and I want to do you a big favor. I said, I need you to go over to that house right now and you bring me the title to that Jeep. Because everything else he owned, he owed money on. The Jeep was paid for. He goes, what do I need to do this for? I said, it's not your Jeep anymore. We walked right over to my little office, whipped out a South Carolina bill of sale, sign here. He goes, what are you doing? I said, you're on Jeep restrictions, son. I'm saving you from yourself. And then when the dust settles, she's yours. Can't take what you don't have. Ah! Catching on. Because I knew the shitstorm he was about to walk into. Fast forward a few months later, he's like, man, I need somewhere to keep that Jeep. I can't stay home anymore. I said, well, let me go get my Jeep. So now I have the Jeep for the second time. Hell, it's mine. I'm driving it. Met a nice girl in it. And I'm like, no, stop. No, and I drove for a little bit. They're really not my thing. I ended up putting it up. Hell, I was going through a divorce myself at the time, When all the dust settled, he ended up getting the other girl pregnant. So now keep in mind, if you're not keeping track, we got 2 at home and a wife, a girlfriend that's 10 years younger than you are, baby on the way. We met a new girl. She's pregnant. So my buddy is 1, the dumbest son of a bitch that ever breathed air. And 2, the most fertile human being on the fucking planet. I'm thinking to myself, like literally, if you jerked off in the damn shower, you would get Greenville County pregnant. Just stop. Did anybody show you how to use a rubber boot, dude? Like literally. Like I feel like I need to have that dad talk with you right now. He's like, oh no, I don't like him. I said, obvious. Finally, after about a year or so, he went through a pretty nasty divorce, and then he had a daddy that was after him from girlfriend number 1, and then I don't really remember what happened to girlfriend number 2. They ended up not working out either. He ended up getting married. I sold him his Jeep back, and and all the dust kind of settled. And he said, man, I'm on the straight and narrow. He ended up getting remarried again, having 2 more kids. Goodness gracious. I started a baseball team. And, I hadn't talked to him in a long time, but every time I see a Jeep, I think about my old buddy and the reason why I hate Jeeps. This Jeep, though, like I said, is a pretty cool one. CJ7, 38s, 18-inch wheels, and my favorite part. Bet you it's got a 304 in it. It's got a da-da-da. It's got a LS 6-liter Vortec Max, all aluminum, tuned and cammed, making 500 horsepower to all 4 wheels, backed up with manual transmission and a manual transfer case. This thing is a bag of hell, and my number 1 goal is to sell this thing before it puts somebody else in divorce court. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. Hello. I'm looking into this one. No, I'm looking into this one. You think it's this one? It's this one. I get the sheep, I get